condition. That time then, for us health workers, was like being in a battlefield. We are trained to treat people and they get well and go home. We were in a situation where people were coming in sick, they were not getting better. We were even discharging people who are sick. Clearly, the relatives are carrying that person home because there was nothing we could do about it. Just around about the same time, now the story of HIV really emerged. Initially, it wasn't called HIV, it was called HTLV3. And at that time, it was talked of as a disease of people of Haitian race, gay people, and eventually it was now and hemophiliacs, people who had hemophilia. They needed to have blood transfusion frequently, so they had gotten exposed to infection. It was clear we had a problem.
In 1984, the first HIV case was recorded, leading to the establishment of the Majengo Observational Cohort Study. The National AIDS Committee was formed, and by 1988, the country reported 300,000 new HIV cases. Pioneering figures like Joe Muriuki defied stigma and publicly disclosed their HIV status.
Being the first Kenyan to be declared himself and being in the media was very, very difficult. That particular period, there was a lot of very little information about HIV, plenty of stigma, and a lot of profiling and name calling and all these kind of things.
Due to heightened stigma and AIDS-related deaths, the government took action. State-owned institutions like NASCO and SEC, Kenya AIDS Vaccine Initiative Laboratory, were established. Amidst mass denial, the country saw an introduction of interventions like drug therapy, donor support, voluntary medical male circumcision, microbicide research, and an AIDS-free vision for 2030. A historic moment in 2011 saw the first HIV cure through a stem cell transplant. In 2022, Kenya furthered its commitment through ART guidelines and participation in the Global Alliance to End AIDS in Children by 2030.
The initial 12 countries that did a pilot on PMTCT was based on our proposal. Companies that were making the drugs that could prevent mother-child transmission of HIV also now stepped up. For example, the single-dose nevirapine, which now we have sort of moved away from, was an amazing drug. One tablet to the mother at the beginning of labor, less than a teaspoon to the baby within 72 hours of delivery would reduce transmission by 50%. So the company that was making it gave it for free. All you needed to do was ask for the drug.
The journey from fear and denial to strategic action and scientific breakthroughs showcases Kenya's determined commitment to end AIDS as a public health threat. During the first Maisha conference, the country shared progress, key among them a 5.6% HIV prevalence and the introduction of a harm reduction program for people who use drugs. 2015 saw comprehensive care for pregnant HIV-positive women. Kenya embraced PrEP and self-testing kits, becoming a leader in HIV response. By 2021, prevalence dropped to 4.3%, with fewer new HIV infections and AIDS-related deaths.
It was not very clear initially when ARVs or treatment came. We thought it was useful to the person living with HIV. But much later, we realized that women and girls who have HIV, who adhere to their treatment, are conceiving babies, carrying them for 9 months and delivering HIV-negative babies. And later on, we realized that for those who are HIV-positive discordant couples, where one person is HIV positive, the other one is HIV negative, the negative partner was not seroconverting, even if they had penetrative and protected sex, and they can conceive and they can live together. So this is now what the scientists call U equals U, undetectable equals untransmittable.
But we need to sustain that effort. The challenge is that we have a new cohort of young people, right, coming along every time. The new cohorts of young people must be empowered to see HIV as as a serious problem and to do every effort to prevent themselves from getting infected. This is much more difficult because HIV is not visible. If you are HIV infected and you're on ARVs, nobody will know that you're ill, you are healthy, you're doing well. So it is a much more challenging, thing. It requires different
To
strategies.
sustain the gains, a multi-sectoral approach that brings together state and non-state partners unveiled a campaign dubbed End the Triple Threat.
In particular, in the HIV area, we are concerned that we continue to realize that the epidemic is disproportionately affecting young people, and especially the younger ones, 10 to 19. We want to work with the older ones and the younger ones just to put a united force to ensure that when we're talking about 19 to 24-year-old, that we are actually speaking of solutions led by them and with them so that we can actually see the end of AIDS.
We worry about the AIDS epidemic and we must continue to be concerned about it. But it's been a phenomenal progress in a period of 30 years.
Aya, thank you. Makofi tafadhali. Are we getting something? Are we learning? Hello. I want to use international language because we also have delegates and our international friends with us. So we don't want anyone to be left aside, but I'll be trying to merge the two, our national language and the Swahili. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate that documentary and the team that did it. Tuwapigie makofi tafadhali. Thank you. And now, without further ado, I want to take this precious opportunity to welcome my senior Bosire for an in-depth analysis of the next session. Karibu sana sa. Makofi yake anapokuja tafadhali.
Thank you, Pato, and thank you, the team that prepared that clip for us. It serves as a constant reminder that the journey is not yet won, but we are happy and very proud that in the room we have some of the faces that you have seen on that clip. Professor Ndwati, who has been leading the scientific, has been one of the leaders of the scientific journey towards getting a solution, is with us. Nelson Otoma will be speaking to us in a few. And we sincerely appreciate you. You are our heroes and our heroines. And today, I'm sure many speakers will properly recognize you and recognize your efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to recognize the arrival in the room of distinguished honorable members of the National Assembly. Our health committee of the National Assembly has been in this town since yesterday. We had an experiential learning yesterday to the key population sites in Mombasa. As you know, Mombasa has one of the most robust key population response programs in this country. And I'm sure when they get their time, they will be making remarks as to what happened yesterday. They were with us up to almost midnight when we had the town hall meeting live on Citizen TV. So Mheshimiwa Patrick Mnene, who is also the vice chair of the National Assembly Committee on Health. Karibu sana, makofi ya chair. Makofi sana. He's seated right here. I will note, my pay grade does not allow me to ask him to stand. So he will stand at the right time when he's duly recognized. Mheshimiwa Oroni, who is also the Member of Parliament for Kisumu Central. Huko Kisumu Dala. Watu wa Kisumu wako hapa naona. Mpigie makofi mheshimiwa tafadhali. Thank you very much. Thank you. And also the other honorable members of Parliament who are going to be joining us shortly. For purposes of moving forward, there was the Maisha group. Where is Maisha group? The Maisha youth? Pato, where are they? Yeah, please. Maisha, the young people were to give us an item where the young people patrol. Can you organize them?
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
And
Senior.
then we also want to play a clip for you in recognition of the efforts, the significant efforts that have been made. Pato, as you put that team ready, I'm making this announcement. The significant effort that has been made by 2 counties in this country, all counties, but 2 have, are almost succeeding in this journey. For the first time, Siaya County recorded sub 5% of mother-to-child transmission of HIV. Could we give a clap to Siaya County? For the first time, Migori County recorded 5% transmission of mother-to-child of HIV. So these 2 counties are also going to get recognized. And as we await for their recognition, we will be playing you a clip, which will be a story from the field, a story from the health practitioners, a story from the community, a story from the mothers and children of Siaya and Migori County as to what they have actually gone through to make this significant stride. So this clip will come up next after the Maisha Youth presentation.
Thank you. Thank you, Senior. Rounds of applause to our Senior. Bosire, tupige makofi tafadhali. Thank you. And I hope you're enjoying as the program continues. So the technical team that is working on the Migori clip, please be ready after the presentation. Can I have Talent Nikazi, Youth Junda? Where are they? For a skit, and then later we'll do the dance. Do you have the team ready? The leader kindly. Talent Nikazi. I think not. Event marshals. Okay. Please, you're being also reminded with the same thing. I will not get out mentioning it. The HIV testing is ongoing, and it is being done by the AIDS Health Foundation, AHF, at the grounds there. Please feel free to visit and know your status. That's one of the objectives that we are trying to attain. And we also have the counties that have managed to beat a threshold, which will be awarding them later. So once you do good, we always reward you. So those 2 counties will be having an award ceremony, which we are going to recognize you with a certificate of merit to honor your effort. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe the Talent Nikazi guys are ready. Can I have the leader here, please, as I introduce you for a skit. Wapi makofi ya Talent Nikazi Youth Junda for a skit. Tafadhali, the leader. Harakisha tafadhali on stage because of time. Kindly kuja haraka tafadhali. We don't have enough time.
Baliari, nikasikia harufu ya mure, nikasema ndo maana udemu ameko, nikabidi nimpeleke kwa kiba, nikamnunulia matunda akakula pamoja na maga. Anyway, mtani kukaanza kutoka propaga, ati jakababa mimi na mkati yale, mangumi mateke si walini osi nikaloza kwa kita, nas akaanza kuleta parapa, jakababa mimi nakupe, I want you to be my heart defe, I want you to be my pocket angoa koma, akanitolea pesa kwa mabu, najua wewe ingekuwa wewe ungezisu. Anyway, tuli-accept date kwa kale, tunaoana mwezi wake, St. Luke's Church of Oluwa, opposite pale kwa Mama Lave, honeymoon isi tunaenda Yuga, pesa zetu tukija tunazisikua, akia nani si tulitinga bla, geukia jirani yako mwambie unampe. Ai, wapi makofi tafadhali? Wapi makofi? Kama upigi makofi uko na wivu, wapi makofi tafadhali? Kama upigi makofi wewe una roho mbaya, wapi makofi tafadhali? Ai, yawa jawa. Karibu sana Mombasa, karibuni sana Mombasa. Geukia jirani yako mwambie welcome to the island. Mwambie ijowa welcome to the island. Huku kuna mnasi teletele. Kuna mnasi teletele. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Talent Nikazi. Wapi makofi yao tafadhali?
Habari zenu?
May it be an evening star shines down upon.
Tatizo halitatuliwi na tatizo. Tukipigana, tukiuana, tukichomana, bado hatupati la maana. Ukiritimba, utazameni.
Amani imepungua majumbani na pia mashinani. Vita vya unyanyasaji vipi tutavikomesha?
Kuisha vitaisha endapo tutaungana jamii kuihamasisha.
Na kama si sasa, ni sasa hivi.
Kukomesha unyanyasaji wa kijinsia ni sheria kuzingatia. Vituo vya sheria kuvitembelea. Usipigwe ukanyamaza.
Toka kapige ripoti.
Haki utaipata. Mbiu tumeshaipiga, hongo tumeshaipinga. Kati ya GBV kuna dhulma za wanaume, vita kwa wanawake, ubakaji, vyote tuvikomeshe. GBV Champions, Oza Zagadat.
Asanteni.
Hao ndio wana talent ni kazi. Asanteni.
Mombasa oye! Mombasa oye! Tuwapigieni makofi ya kilo jamani. Basi kufikia hapo, nashukuru sana. Tuomba tu technical team, I think their house is very hot. Do their honors. Basi, ladies and gentlemen, we're still anticipating to expect our VIPs to come. That includes our CEO, NSDCC. So once they arrive, I'm sure we'll be engaging you with further engagements. So for now, I want us to at least get a snip. Is the video ready? Okay, so once ready, let us know. Basi, naomba ugeukie ambaye umeketi na yeye. Naomba ugeukie mwenye umeketi na yeye. Muulize, hii ni conference ya ngapi ya Maisha kufanya? Amekujibu aje? Haya, wangapi wamesema ya kwanza? Mikono chini. Wangapi wamesema ya pili? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Haya, ingia kwa mfuko wako, mtolee 50 umpatie tafadhali. Si umpatie jamani, ama mfuko shida kidogo. Haya, basi bado kikundi ambacho kilikuwa kinafanya presentation. Nataka tuwaite tena for a skit and then we continue with the next sessions. Kwa hivyo ningependa vijana wa Talent ni Kazi Youth Junda, please, stage ni yenu for few seconds. Kindly, let's be fast so that we can beat the program. Karibuni sana Junda Youth.
Hello. Ulikuwa semaje? Wewe usinitatize kabisa. Si nilikwambia umeze pitu mimi. Huwezi niletea hizo nyimbo zako. Nishazoea. Nimezisikia kwa wengi sana. Jua mimi huwezi nikoroga. Kwani hukuwa jua ni mtoto wa shule? Sasa mimi ukiniambia class 7 nitakusaidia nini? Si shauri zako. Wengi nimewakimbia. Sasa mimi mwenyewe na watoto ka 20 nje na wengi hata siwajui na waacha tu huko. Babako, shule hizo ni zenu, mimi msiniambie kitu. Sasa ndo mtajua mimi ni mjukuu akaveveka zoze. Sitambui lawama yoyote. Hata mwingine akijileta. Yes baby, hapo ndo umeongea sasa. Mimi nilikwambia ukiongea kuhusu kuitoa, safi nitakuja kuchukua. Sawa basi naja kuchukua twende, kama mchongo ni ule ule. Fresh.
TV au?
Wewe hapo nsikia TV ama mimba? Wewe mzee usinikoroge.
Oh, kama nataka kwenda itoe muende mkaitoe. Siwajua hao ndio mambo yangu mimi.
Kwa hiyo uko sawa mzee?
We 200 peke yake. Kuna mtoto aliletwa juzi. Alikuwa yuko na miaka 9. Nikachukua ile hanga ile ya kuanikia nguo, nikainyoosha, nikapaka zile dawa zangu ile, nikaitumbukiza ndani. Nikavuta. Size yuko shule, hao ndio mambo yangu. Siwajua uganga ndo kwangu. Natua mimba za mapema kila kitu.
Nishapenda sana hiyo. Yaani kama wewe ndio ulimtoa yule mtoto mimba sasa yuko shule. Basi cheki. Mimi naona tusiongee sana. The deal is sealed.
Uganga bila usomi kumbe wasumbua. Mimi nadhani natengeza kazi kumbe na delete kazi.
Hodi. Jamani hodi huku Kenya kuna wenyewe tena huku. Karibu. Karibu. Samanako. Ulikuwa unasemaje? Babako yuko? Ndio yuko, alikuwa anapiga mswaki. Kanitie. Subiri.
Ingelikuwa usubuhi ningesema good morning. Lakini vile saizi ni mchana. Haya, asalamu alaykum.
Wa alaykum salam.
Sasa uko sawa lakini?
Siko sawa kama unaonavyo.
Ndio nakuona unkuja kichui, yani unkuja yani ikiwa ushajiandaa tayari kwamba. Lakini sasa kama uko sawa, mbona sio unkwenda ikunja kama mtu alokosa ticket ya kuingia Maisha conference?
Ndio hivyo. Ndio hivyo.
Hebu zungumza bwana nikuelewe. Sasa vipi wewe ulikotoka? Kwendaje?
Kwa hema.
Wacha. Lakini yule ndugu yako ile tabia yake ashawacha?
Hajaacha. Mwanzo ndio maana nimekuja. Tuliongelea kuhusu hili swala.
Hawa watoto walisaliwa wawili 2000. Mmoja ni mganga. Ndugu yake mdogo wake huyu naye ana tabia za kutupia watu vijembe tu. Kama wataka mtu akasutwe, mfate huyu. Ndio maana yeye hulala na dera. Ukimwona siku analala na dera jua enda suta mtu usingizini. Hiyo ndo talenti yako wewe. Sasa yule ndugu yako tabia ya kutoa watoto wadogo mimba anastahili achukuliwe hatua. Kwa sababu hata vile vifaa anavyovitumia he's using sharp object. Anachanja watu na vijembe, anachanja mtu mwingine tena na kijembe kile. Hawajui kama anaweza kaambukiza watu virusi vinavyosababisha ukimwi. Ama hulioni hilo kama ni jambo gumu? Ninyi hamfikirii?
Naliona.
Sasa kuanzia leo nataka mimi na wewe tuungane, tuhakikishe ile tabia yake uganga wake feki tunaupinga kabisa. Tumeelewana mpaka hapa?
Kumbe wewe uko huku?
Ndiye niko hapa kama upepo kama unionavyo.
Wasikia maneno hayo?
Ana nini wewe tulia. Hapo umekuja ni kwangu nyumbani hapa, tulia kelele zako hizo. Umenielewa mpaka hapa? Kwanza wewe hii tabia yako utaacha lini ya kuganga watu na kutoa watoto wadogo mimba?
Hiyo ndio kazi yangu. Kama wanaenda cheza mchezo wa give me and give you. Wanashikishana mimba wakija kwangu. Mimi nazitoa so wananilipa 200 ama kosa yangu yako wapi hapa?
Sasa mganga, vile vijembe unavotumia kuwachanja, hujui kama unasambukiza watu virusi vinavyosababisha ukimwi?
Virusi gani?
Uamini mitishamba, si ndio?
Mitishamba ndio yenyewe.
Uamini mitishamba?
Sana.
Uamini mitishamba?
Sasa ndio kazi yangu. Na lazima ni watu wa mimba na wananilipa.
Sasa mimi na huyu tutakuwa watu wa kwanza kuwakomesha waganga feki kama nyinyi. Ambao watoto wadogo wanaenda zunguko wakishapata ujauzito, nyinyi mnakuja mna watu wa mimba kisiri bila kutumia njia inayostahili.
Watukana kazi yangu?
Naitukana.
Nitakufanya bubu wewe.
Mimi?
Nitakufanya bubu.
Wewe unifanya mimi bubu?
Ama ukiondoka police station nigeuze school ondoka lipe school fees.
My love in the heaven never believed this. Can't trust you, my honorable morning here. Wewe unifanya mimi bubu? Kama wataka kuona kidney zako zikiwa zimekuja kwenye macho, test me. Test me. Ndio ujue kitakuramba. Rudi hapa. Kwanza wewe nani? Hebu njoo hapa.
Mzee. Mimi sina shida.
Hebu njoo hapa. Una shida ya nini? Wewe nani?
Nilikuwa nimemfuata Sara kama yuko hapa.
Sara mtoto wangu mimi?
Mimi sijui.
Hebu njoo. Come. Simama hapa. Very good. Sara,
sio ito na babako si ukuje.
Sara! Hebu njoo hapa. Njoo hapa. Na kuulizaje, hii fallopian tube unaijua? Na kuuliza, hii no fallopian tube unaijua? Haya. Mwajuanaje? Huyu nani wako?
Rafiki.
Astaghfirullah.
Si rafiki?
Uliona wapi Kenya ikacheza na Arsenal? Uliona wapi Kenya ikacheza na Arsenal? Yaani namaanisha urafiki gani wa mke na mume? Uliona wapi urafiki wa mke na mume na kuuliza? Huyu nani wako wewe?
Ni rafiki yangu.
Haya tuenda na kiwewe wewe sasa. Rafiki yangu. Haya rafiki huo urafiki wa nini? Facebook, Twitter, TikTok ama urafiki ule wenu I need you? Sema!
Alinifuata ili twende tukatoe hii mimba. Eti mimba?
Wasema nini wewe? Una nini?
Mimba.
Subhanallah. Shanti. Wewe unakwenda unapachikwa mimba miaka 14? Hii ni defilement hiyo kijana umefanya? Miaka 14 unampachika mimba. Wewe lakini akili yako inafanya kazi. Hii ina ishara wazi kama paka mimba imekupata hamutumii kinga nyinyi. Pumbavu kabisa ni. Hii ndio unaona kwamba maradhi ya zinaa mnaambukizana kijinga namna hii. Tena basi. Haya sitayawachia hapa. Kuanzia sasa wewe kijana, tunachukuana na huyu, leo ndo tutajua umuhimu wa P2 na P3. Tumeelewana paka hapo?
Tumeelewana.
P2 ungeitumia ungejilinda usipate ujauzito. P3 sasa tuenda kupiga ripoti, baada ukishapimwa ukionekana hali yako iko sawa, na hiyo ni rape case. Tunafungua defilement case. P3 inaingililia hapo. I will arrest you my dear lovely Kongoromonia wewe. Unanifanya hivi mtoto wangu mimi? Baba. Mimi mtoto wangu unamfanya hivi? Haya, sasa haya hatuyaachii hapo. Unanisikia dada?
Ndio.
Tunaondoka hapa sasa hivi. Shika. Enuka. Na wewe pia mganga feki tutakukomesha raundi hii. Mtatii. Haya makanisa na misikiti na jengo ya nini? Usipenda kuombe Mungu. Wewe msewa muomba nani? Kuanzia leo hii, jamani tukomesheni mimba za mapema na pia njia za kuambukizana virusi vinavyosababisha ukimwi. Ikiwa watoto wadogo wanakutana kimwili, jukumu lao kulinda tu mimba peke yake, lakini hawajilindi afya zao. Kuna kuambukizana magonjwa kama vile ukimwi, kuna magonjwa ya zinaa kama gonorrhea. Haya yote ni magonjwa ambayo nyinyi mnakutana kimwili bila kutumia kinga. Tena especially nyinyi watoto wadogo. Hamusikii kwa nini lakini you want us to fast every year. Mnataka tufunge mwaka mzima tusile chochote. na wapeleka polisi. Sheria lazima itafata mkondo wake. Mimi I can't speak stop. Yani sitanyamaza, lazima nitakisha nimewashitaki nyinyi na nimechukulia hatua nyinyi yote. Kuanzia saizi dada kavua hichi isije polisi wakaenda kuona wewe ni mnyama. Maana nyinyi wanawake nanyi mkiwa na figure 8. Twende. Sitakuacha twende huku. Mbona shikaneni mkono? Twende. Pumbavu nyinyi.
All right, thank you very much. Kindly, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Talanta Nikazi. Yes, indeed it's true. We have been on a national dialogue to end what we call the triple threat, the nexus, to break the nexus between adolescent pregnancies, sexual and gender-based violence, which drive up new HIV infections among adolescents and young persons. There are presentations which will be done here this morning to show how strong that nexus is, and we are leveraging this kind of energy, positive energy from our young people to break that code. When I was introducing Mheshimiwa Mnene and Mheshimiwa Oroni, I did not realize that on my left also the other Mheshimiwas had arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also lucky that we are today joined by Mheshimiwa Anthony Kibagendi, who is the Member of Parliament for Kitutu Chache South. Makofi ya Mheshimiwa tafadhali. Asanti, mtamuona wakati yake ikifika. We are joined by Mheshimiwa Duncan Maina Madenge, Mheshimiwa wa Nyeri mjini, Nyeri town. Makofi ya Mheshimiwa Madenge. Asanti sana. And finally, our senior who has straddled the corridors of these conferences nationally, globally, and regionally for many years and led the health sector also, both as an implementer, now as a legislator, Dr. James Nyikal, mbunge wa Seme constituency. Makofi ya senior. Welcome. Happy to have you, Waheshimiwa. We truly appreciate. Yesterday when we were talking, we realized that really this is not a battle for one arm of the government. The legislature, executive, and judiciary have to join forces. They have to join hands. It's not the government alone. The rest of the society also has to join. So it's a whole society approach so that we can win. And that's why people from all shades and colors, people of different professions, and both state and non-state government communities, we have gathered here for this 7th edition of the Maisha conference to discuss about our partnerships and how to strengthen them towards ending AIDS as a public health threat. The next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a common face that you know, but a hero in his own right, because without this kind of individuals, the war or the fight against HIV could not be where it is. He is currently the executive director of NEFAC, and also is the national coordinator for the Kenya PLHIV Stigma Index 2.0. My brother Nelson Juma Otoma has served in various national and international HIV coordination and management bodies. He has served locally in the Kenya Coordinating Mechanism for HIV, AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. He has served in the HIV Tribunal. He has served in structures of UNITAID. He has served in structures of the global network of people living with HIV. He has served and is currently serving in several structures of the UNAIDS and WHO, among others. Reading the bio and profile of my brother Otoma is long, and I will not take too much time, but I'll introduce him to make a few remarks and share his words of wisdom through the journey and the experience that he has seen with his own eyes with us for the next few minutes. Put your hands together, please, ladies and gentlemen, for my brother Otoma. Otoma, karibu sana.
Thank you very much, and thanks you and the other MC for making it lively, because there is no dull moment in HIV response. So allow me to recognize everybody present. Allow me to say all protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We were already set in the church mode, not because other denominations are not important, but that mode reminds us that everything is participatory. So we danced, we talked, we moved, and we said certain things to each other. And the only thing we didn't do was to give that 50, which we will be giving later on, maybe by Thursday as we close. But now I want to welcome you to join me in reflecting on the theme of this conference by saying after me that we are the leaders. We are the leaders. We are the people. We are the beneficiaries of science. And we are scientists. And we are part of the partnership. Yeah, and that is how we are going to end AIDS by 2030, and it is possible. And it is possible because we are told that some counties are going to get awards. And these are the counties that we classify as high HIV burden counties. And the scientists have tracked their progress in terms of testing, treatment, and care, and preventing HIV, and they are on the track that they are going to end AIDS. And that means that other counties that have been of medium or low burden then can follow suit. And then by 2029, as we turn on 2030, then we will be saying bye to AIDS. We will still have a few HIV here and there, but AIDS will say bye. So this morning I want to reflect very quickly on what the journey is towards ending this AIDS. And the journey has been put forward for the global community by UNAIDS. And the journey is 95, 95, 95. So let me reflect on the first 95, and that's the entry point. Today we are reminded here that we can actually know our status. For those who have never known, you can confirm. And that's the entry point. And we need not fear like the history we had here. Long time ago, as we said, as Joe was speaking here and other people will be speaking here, if you are tested HIV positive, that was doom and gloom, simply because there was no treatment. But scientists have worked so hard that today you are tested and you are put on treatment and you will live your life that God willed that you are in this world. And that's a development. So that's one of the things we are celebrating in this conference, and that's why we are happy with the Maisha conference and always having us as communities. Now, in that level, then the second 95 is treatment. And I think it was explained during the brief video here. And it is as simple as saying that if you test HIV positive and you are put on treatment, which is lifelong treatment, if you adhere so well to that treatment, then you become undetectable. And undetectable equals untransmittable. It means that you are not capable of sexually transmitting that virus to a loved one. Of course, scientists are still working on mother-to-child transmission. And of course, we always use protection, not simply because of HIV. Even after we become undetectable and untransmittable, we'll be using protection because we are avoiding other pregnancies and other STIs. So we are on the right path. And then the last 95 is just to anchor that treatment, which is virtual suppression. And virtual suppression means then the virus is muted. But I think earlier here, Professor Nduati was speaking, not live, but through a video. The most dangerous part of HIV is that it is a latent virus. Latent means it is in the body, and it is not harming you, and you are not feeling it. That's the most dangerous part of it. And that's why we tell people to go for a test. If you have COVID, pain will drive you to a hospital or a test. If you have even if you have malaria, even if you have TB that come from a bacteria, in the body, you will feel pain. But with the HIV, before it develops into advanced HIV or develop into AIDS, you will feel no pain. And that's why testing is important. So I want to celebrate with the Ministry of Health, the NASCOP, and the Syndemic team that we are putting Kenya in the path to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. But make no mistake, because certain populations are being left behind. And of course, sometimes we lower our voices because we get embarrassed when we say that mother-to-child transmission rate is above 5%, actually average 8%. And average means some are more, some are higher, some are lower. But it is unacceptable that in this day and age, women and girls become pregnant and deliver, or during breastfeeding, transmit the virus to the loved ones. There was the earlier commitment of ending this by 2015 and keeping mothers alive. We pushed it to 2020, and right now we are talking about 2025. I know the country has joined the Global Alliance to End AIDS Among Children by 2030. But I think it is a point for reflection when we come to this conference and say, where did we go wrong and what are we not doing right? Why would we be having HIV positive girls and women with the science we have, with the treatment we have, transmitting the virus to the loved ones? And this, in this case, children who are helpless. And children also, when they're infected, they are not doing well in terms of treatment. And these are the people who are presenting with what we call advanced HIV disease. And advanced HIV disease, for lack of a better term, is just AIDS. So this conference is here when we are celebrating, and AIDS is coming back. So if we call it advanced HIV disease, it may sound nice, but its real name is AIDS, and AIDS is coming back. We also know we have challenges with men because few test, and the few tests also test very late, and when they test, they don't follow the cascade. They don't follow the lines recommended by clinicians. So it is high time we again reflect in this forum and ask the question, what are we going to do differently with the boys and the men? And of course, I mentioned boys because we are talking about adolescents and young people. And that does not leave behind adolescent girls and young women, where we need to pay more attention to help them. And for them, I think we are doing everything right, except where the law is concerned. We are not protecting these young ones. They are not protecting their human rights, and that's why we talk about sexual gender-based violence. And we are not taking action when they are impregnated. So the skit that was played here is for all of us. Let us take action and protect the young ones, particularly girls who are being defiled, some being raped, so that we end the scourge. Allow me to reflect because of where I work. I work at NEFAC, and NEFAC was founded by people who are also going to speak here, and including Joe Muriuki, the late Joe Muriuki. NEFAC was founded to tell Kenyans like you that when we talk about HIV, that H in HIV is human. Because there were rumors during that time. HIV was in the laboratories, it was in monkeys, it was in the forest. Then Kenyans stepped forward and said, okay, we are the H in HIV, in the human. And that means that we have to put that team at the center as we move forward. So we are glad and celebrating with UNAIDS, because when they have unveiled the World AIDS Day theme for this year, they've just told us, let communities lead. And let communities lead, because we are going to call for interventions that deal with communities and people directly, not through proxies. Lastly, and more importantly, everything we are going to do to end AIDS will cost money. And of course, it comes with a budget. I recently joined a team from the Epidemics working on the midterm review of Kenya AIDS Strategic Framework. And we realized that there is a gap. And Kenya is one of those countries being pointed by UNAIDS as the response is in danger, and it is in danger simply because we don't have resources that can match the response to the epidemic. So we will be happy to still have Global Fund and PEPFAR, but this is the time in this conference to call upon the national and county governments to increase direct resource allocation to HIV and AIDS. And I'm happy that the Ministry of Health has started a discussion with the communities on how to make NHIF the center of treatment for persons living with HIV and for HIV. And that will come with resources, because it is not just HIV. People living with HIV and who are now aging are presenting with uncommunicable diseases. And that is what NHIF need to take up. And I think the most important message from my end is let us invest in this epidemic so that we sustain the response. Thank you very much.
Makofi mazuri ya Otuoma, please. Hawa ndio mashujaa wa hii vita dhidi ya virusi vya HIV. Thank you very much, Nelson. And indeed, for reminding us that it is a delicate point that we are in, that the gains are very fragile, and we cannot afford to lose our eye, our sight from the goal. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a young person. They say, nothing without us, nothing for us, nothing for us. Hiyo ndio lugha ya vijana. So naleta mtunguyas mmoja hapa, anaitwa Patricia Mativo. Patricia is the vice chair of the Youth Advisory Board of the United Nations Population Fund. She's a first-class honors graduate of analytical chemistry from Multimedia University. This September, Patricia will be proceeding to the prestigious Oxford University to study for a master's in environmental change and management. Makofi kwa huyu mwanadada. So we welcome you, Patricia, and as you come, we also recognize that you are the youngest member to be appointed to the independent panel of advisors for review of Kenya's peace architecture to represent the youths. So vijana mko represented hapa, tukamalize conference, msema Mungu kuwa, Patricia amewakilisha. Ama aje? Safi, safi. Patricia, please come. A round of applause as she comes and encourage her. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Young people, how are you doing? Well, I hope I'm gonna make you proud. Again, young people, how are we doing? Are you really fine? Kama ninja, iko hapo chini chakula. Please go get yourself some snack. Anyway, on what brought me here today, as our good MC has said, my name is Patricia Philip Mativo. And I'm here to represent the bosses of this country, who are the young people, because we occupy 75%. So if it's any agenda, be it in health, in education, in sports, definitely it's for young people. So now, we have heard from the previous speakers, we have this youth bulge of 75%, and they're the ones who are leading on increasing numbers of teen pregnancy, GBV, HIVs, all of them as triple threats. So what was running into my mind was, so where did we go wrong as a country? Who is to blame for the high numbers of teen pregnancy, GBV, and HIV cases among young people? Clearly, somebody did not do their work. Is it parents? Is it teachers? Is it the young people themselves who are caught up in this mess? Or is it the seniors of this country? If you ask me, I would say it's the seniors of this country. Because again, for us young people, it's not like we came from nowhere. We met the seniors, and the seniors they were responsible of getting us from our childhood up to where we are right now. So last week in our conference for the pre-youth conference on Maisha, our theme was the action we need, the future we want. For me, I believe the action that we need sustainable funding channeled to young people who are living beyond their means to create their own creative solutions. We are not just sitting behind waiting for the government to do this for us. We have been doing this at our own spaces, so we need great finances channeled to us. And if you think we're not able to manage the finances, kwamba you think tutakuokora na hizo pesa, then you might as well as give us in-kind needs. For example, if you're holding an event, don't give us your money. Bring us banners, bring us mentors, bring us resources. We don't really need the money, we need your support. As young people also, we need to leverage on AI, tech, innovation, which is our greatest opportunity at the moment to help us create better solutions for our time. We need to invest on transitional mentorship to break generational fault. If you ask me what generational fault is, I started, who is responsible for what's happening to the young people? And I believe it's the seniors of this country, unless another speaker comes and tell me otherwise. Because honestly, hatujatoka from anywhere. It was for you to make us transition slowly to where we are, in a manner that our health are not jeopardized, our education systems are strong, and everything works for our future. We need youth-friendly medical facilities, including GBV response services. Mimi sitataka kwenda kwa facility then niangalie, actually you want contraceptives, isn't it too early? At my age, I'm sure you're doing what I'm doing, so please stop acting as if you are innocent whatsoever. Please give me my services, it's my right. Accessing health in whatever way I want, it's my right. We all know that. Whether you're a prisoner, whether you're a young person, it's your right. We need young people as leaders in the boardroom where our decisions are being made. Again, we are 75%. So whatever agenda you'll be speaking, it's for the young people. So please have the audacity to have young people in those boardrooms, and not just as flowers, as leaders in those boardrooms, so that they can give their meaningful contributions. And don't you dare say that, no, she does not have experience. I mean, she's just, 20 years, 23 years. Come on, you're speaking about our needs. And my needs, you have to address them the way how I feel it. We need parents, teachers, elders, ministries, priests, sheikhs, to have the so-called uncomfortable conversations. The ones around SRHR, contraceptives. We need to have those uncomfortable conversations, because please don't act as if we are saints. We know we are young people and we're sexually active. Whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, we have to state facts. And please, let's have the uncomfortable conversations so that we protect the health of young people. Failure to do this, to listen to us young people and prioritize our health needs, mark my words, kitaturamba as a nation, na kitaturamba very badly. So, what is the future that we want as young people? We want maisha bila stress ya HIV na STIs. Maisha bila stress ya kutafuta quality and accessible medication. Maisha bila GBV. Maisha bila stigma. Maisha bila depression. And definitely, maisha empowered as young people. Lastly and finally, I know at times it gets boring listening to young people, but you have to listen to us either way. We are not too far from Agenda 2030. It's 2023. The clock is ticking. Listen, tick, tock, tick, tock. Gladly this Maisha conference is part of the actions taken to accelerate the SDGs. And truth be said, we cannot talk about accelerating the SDGs without talking about sustainability. And we cannot talk about sustainability without talking about climate change and its impact on sexual and reproductive health rights and HIV. Climate affects our responses and our efforts, and therefore we must address climate change if we need to ensure that we scale up our responses towards young people and our society at large. To our partners, to every key stakeholder, this is just our call to ensure that please put young people to the front. If you want the numbers of HIVs to go to 0, Dare try, involve young people. If you don't, then you're wasting your time. Please don't be stingy on your funding. Again, I emphasize on this one. It's not a must to give us money. Give us the resources that we need. And together we can fight and ensure we have a healthful, youthful nation that meet their goals towards their dreams and their future as well. Thank you.
Patricia has also been mentioned as one of the top 40 under 40. So that is also an indication that she's indeed a youth. And they also said she's one of the young people to watch in the year 2023. No wonder she's proceeding to Oxford. We wish you well as you conquer the world. Makofi ya Patricia, tafadhali. Thank you very much. Our next speaker, colleagues, is somebody who has been in this space for many years, working with the communities, offering mental wellness, psychosocial support, and economic empowerment for shelter programs. She's a career humanitarian and development professional, and she's the founder of Women on Resources to Heal Network, that is WORTH. She's also a member of the National Technical Working Group on GBV and an associate of the National Forum for Safe Shelters in Kenya. Please put your hands together for Madam Pierina Wantai. A round of applause, please. Thank you very much. Pierina, karibu sana. Oh, you had some slides? Could we have slides up?
All protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pierina. I'm Pierina Guantai. I'm blessed to be here today at this 7th Maisha conference. I want to thank NSDCC for inviting me to share my story. And indeed, it is a story, just like your story. Everyone has their story, isn't it? Everyone has their story. And that's why I also want to thank all of you for giving me space to share and for you to listen to my story. Last year, I was given such an opportunity in a forum to share, and I asked my children, they are now young women, if to share and what to share. They told me